I'm pissed. And I'm trying to calm down. It's not working. We'll start with some backstory. Maybe that'll calm me down a little bit. I was raised by two very liberal parents. They're both Democrats. They're both teachers. They're both like, I'm pretty sure my mom burned her bra at some point, and my dad got out of the draft for Vietnam. They're severe liberals. I was not allowed to have water guns as a kid because they condone violence. I was not allowed to have Barbies because they portrayed the wrong image for women. I wasn't allowed to have kid makeup because it portrayed women as needing makeup in order to make themselves beautiful. Whatever. Keep in mind, though, that this was the 1980s, so I was like... Oh, and I didn't have a TV, because there was better things in life to do than watch TV. Don't entirely disagree with that, but... paints a picture. So... when I left home, I became the black sheep of the family. Like, every other year, I was the perfect kid. Well, minus the fact that I didn't like school because I thought everybody was stupid. But I still went to school. I didn't ever really do drugs. I mean, my friends were, out there, but we didn't ever, do criminal things, and we didn't ever really cause trouble. We, knocked on boys' windows at 2 o'clock in the morning. It's been about that story. Anyway, and when I left the house, I came into my own through a series of events. We'll just go with that. I joined the Army. Pissed a lot of people off. I got tattoos. Oh my God, you should have seen my mom react to my first one. I now have 7. I got a motorcycle license. Oh, they loved that. Oh God, what didn't I do? The smoking, they were pretty pissed about that. But that doesn't really, it's not badass, it's just stupid. I started seeing a couple of Republican views. It was like, that might kind of make sense. Basically, I became, as I said, the black sheep of the family. I'm okay with that. And in doing so, some people accepted it. Some people try and pretend that that's not me. Fine. I get it. However, I've built this nice little world where I know not to do things purely out of spite, out of stupidity, out of lack of knowledge. Before I bought a motorcycle, I spent, quite a bit of time sitting in a garage with a bunch of guys figuring out how to repair old Hondas. So I know the basic ins and outs of motorcycles. I also know what they can do. When I joined the Army, I actually became an expert shooter with an M16 because I knew my shit and I took care of my shit and all that stuff. Tattoos. I make fun of my mom all the time because she has now gotten to the point again, utmost of respect to my mom, especially today, where I'm like, oh, Mom, you poor thing. You have a 30-something-year-old daughter who keeps getting tattoos of literary figures from the 1800s. Just knock it off, whatever. So I know my shit. So a couple months ago, Ben and I went in half and half on a gun raffle for one of the groups that I support. I'm a sponsor for Salute the Troops out of Fond du Lac, by the way. Yay, good people. And we won. Yay! Considering past experiences, Ben said, well, first of all, I'm out of state. And if something happens, I'm not going to be there to help you with anything. So just put it in your name. I said, that's fine. When we move in together, if we want to add your name then, that's fine. I'm really not worried about it as long as it's registered and taken care of. I also bought a case with 2 different locks and a lock for the actual trigger. And I want to say there's another lock on there too. Oh, there's a cable lock, which I have never seen before, but great idea. And all of those are on my person at all times. It's stored away where my kid can't reach it. So it was primarily bought with the safety of, the bad people from my past showing up and having the protection if I need it. Given I would love to take it out to the range and, just be able to shoot things too, but I have utmost of training with weapons. Like, sorry, the military, we shoot things. It's kind of part of the job description. And, you know, I've had friends that will take me out. I've honed my skills and made sure that I'm safe and follow every rule. Whole 9 yards. It's registered. Everything's taken care of. So, I'm taking a weekend to check out a little bit because, as I said, I'm in recovery, and that's fine. Everybody else is doing their thing. Ben's in Hawaii. My family's having a reunion, which I'm bummed I'm missing, but, it's nice outside. I'm just kind of putz around cleaning, organizing, getting some stuff put together, finding some books I want to sell. And yes, this is the same shirt because, dang Skippy, I took a nap after I got up this morning. But I've been in a really good place today. I'm like, yes, sweet. I'm not as tired. I'm doing good. My medicine's under control. And, I had some green beans and some pizza, so I'm eating some vitamins again. Yes. And then I cleaned my room. Needless to say, well, when Ben and I won, the weapon through Salute the Troops, we opted for a pistol. For, as I already explained, reasons. Which has been next to my bed. I thought I put it on the top shelf. Somehow, I don't know. And I went to put away my laundry and vacuum and whatever else, and it's gone. It's absolutely gone. I looked in my garage. I looked in the living room. I tore apart my room. And then I got the panicked idea that Christopher, for some reason, and keep in mind, my child is incredibly intelligent, and he knows that if I say something is dangerous, he'll take me for my word. I don't think he's ever really tried to push that boundary, ever, which is, wow, props to me. Great kid. So, having a firearm missing from your house is a big fucking deal. There's many ways that it is a big fucking deal. First of all, it's registered in my name. If anything happens, if it misfires, if somebody steals it, if somebody kills somebody else, injures somebody else, it's not like that thing walks around with this insurance attached to it. No. I'd be the one taking the blame, even though I'm not even in possession of it. Not to mention, if I had called the police and reported it missing, there would have been felony charges for whoever had taken it, or whoever, whatever. We'll come around to that in a bit. Felony charges. We're not talking misdemeanor. We're talking handcuffs walking out the door. Not to mention, I'm panicked my kid has stashed it away in his room, because, last resort. Now again, raised by liberal parents. Texted my mom, because my mom helped me when I got back from the hospital for a week or two. Very helpful. Mom, have you seen my pistol? No. Are you sure? Knowing my mom, she'd probably find it and hide it at the top of a closet or something and be like, yeah, I found it, but I put it so far out of the way that nobody will ever find it. Totally fine by me. Cool. At least I know where it is. Okay, who else has been in my house? Now keep in mind, I don't lock my doors. My dad and my stepmother came with the best intentions and cleaned my entire house while I was in the hospital. Intentions are good. I will give them that. And maybe some of you can sympathize, maybe some of you cannot. My world is my little world. Now if you want to help, that's awesome. That's great. Oh my God. I love it. And trust me, I sent them a thank you letter. They cleaned all sorts of stuff. They took stuff to the laundromat, but they took my pistol. Now we're at, let's see, it's been a month and a half since I was in the hospital. That pistol has been missing for a month and a half. Luckily, I just realized it today because, I keep it in the vicinity of my bed. Yeah, I probably should have it a little bit more knowledgeable, but I thought I'd put it on a shelf and I didn't need it. Nope. My dad found it while he was cleaning, took it, and put it in his car. It's currently located in Milwaukee. So, I am fuming. Now, there is a point that I brought up with him. And my stepmother said, well, he didn't know where you were at, so he took it for your safety. Not a bad decision. If he had said, hey, I'm going to grab the pistol that you have, and I'm going to throw it in my car, and, you know, when you think you're ready, you know, you can come grab it or whatever. I'd be like, okay, not a bad deal. Just make sure you keep it locked and make sure you don't do anything stupid. That would be one way to approach it, and I would have been completely fine. Respect my world. That's obviously not what happened. And okay, so he's trying to keep my safety. Now, I also mentioned, I'm like, so you were concerned about my safety. My dog is hilarious. You were concerned about my safety, but you left behind my 9-inch chef knives, which are $90 a piece and never go dull. The yard maintaining equipment, not to mention a hacksaw and 2 different kinds of clippers. Any of the razors in my house. Any of the pesticides in my house. Any of the pills that are in my house. The phrase that came out of my mouth was, I am bipolar. I am not suicidal. There is a difference. This video is not good for people who know people who are suicidal, and I apologize for that. But for the rest of us who are just like maintaining our mental health, you do not have to be suicidal if you're dealing with mental health issues. It's not one and the same. It's not. Now, if you take away, well, no, don't take away my chocolate ice cream. I mean, my debit cards, sure. Again, ask me first. Freeze my bank account with my knowledge. You know, fine. I could do some serious damage with that. I mean, I don't sit around thinking, like, the one time I became suicidal is when I got diagnosed. And I said, this isn't me, this is not okay, and rushed myself to the hospital. And I called a friend of mine, Sam, and she's more on the Republican side. We just don't talk politics. True friendship right there. I said, do I have the right to be pissed off right now? Yes. Yes, you do. She said, and she made a very valid point. She's like, look, Emily, if you were suicidal, you wouldn't have gone to the hospital. You wouldn't have checked yourself in. You wouldn't be signing up for therapy. You wouldn't be going to counseling. Everything in a judge's mind or a law enforcement mind points towards the fact that you know what's going on in your head and you're taking care of it. So, maybe this is a good message for the loved ones. Don't assume. Do not assume anything. Ask. We are still human beings. We are still people. We are still adults. Do you see me checked into like a rehabilitation facility? No. This is my house. I'm here every day. I maintain it. Yeah, it's a little messy, but you know, I block off the clean stuff by sitting here. We go to work every day. We pay bills. We clean, we take care of kids, we take care of pets. Ava this morning has already had 2 Twizzlers and 3 pieces of pizza crust, because that's what we do. Don't assume anything. If I was suicidal, I would tell somebody. And frankly, once I get this posted, I will put a suicide number or call me. I don't care. There are solutions. That's not the point here. Please don't commit suicide. But seriously, assuming drives me up the wall. I'm 33 years old. I have been in and out of the hospital enough to know who I am, when I need to get seen, when my meds need adjusting, when I need to make sure things are taken care of. And guess what? That's what I'm doing. That's what this weekend is. I knew that I'd be irritable. I knew that I'd be anxious, whatever. And as I said, I got up this morning, still kind of tired. And I'm like, oh, be lazy for a little bit. Took another nap. Got up, started being productive. I felt amazing. Like, good, this is finally going away. And now I am fuming. And this is me with an anti-anxiety in me. I have calmed down a lot. So, I will cut this off. I will reiterate. If you have a loved one with mental health issues, unless they have a history of something, do not assume a single thing. Don't. Ask. Treat us like adults. Treat us like we have feelings, like we have opinions, like we know what's going on in our world. Okay. Got that off my chest. Oh, and side note. Thank you to Sam, first of all, who is my pro-Republican friend, who knows more than I do. If you have a firearm, it's registered in your name, and somebody takes it, obviously within reason, like if you are suicidal and they take it, that could be argued, in which case, please do what's going to keep you safe. But if somebody takes your firearm, which is registered in your name, maintained in your name, and kept on your property, it is a federal offense. As I previously stated, if I hadn't figured out where it was, and I'd filed a missing object report, missing firearms report, if they had found it at my dad's house, he would have been hauled off to, like, federal court. Or not federal court, I'm sorry. He would have been hauled off to court with the potential for a felony charge for theft of a firearm. Not okay. Also, again, if somebody takes your firearm, and this is why we keep things locked. Keep them locked, keep them locked, keep them locked. If something happens with that firearm, if it's left in a car and it's stolen, if somebody gets shot with it, if there are fingerprints from a murder scene on it, I mean, these are the extremes. If it gets stolen and somebody else does something stupid with it, if it misfires because somebody doesn't know how to use it, your registration falls on you. You are taken into the court system for not maintaining your firearm. Okay, that's the end of this. Hopefully I've given you some information. I'm going to try and regain whatever semblance of whatever it was by watching Grumpy Old Men and cleaning the rest of my room. Talk to you later.